So there are three data types in Ruby. Number one are numbers, second are booleans, which are either true or false. The third are strings. Variables can be initialized in Ruby by small letters followed by underscore or capital letters, numbers, etc. So let us first initialize variable. We can also initialize string. And set it to a boolean value. Now let's move on to so for a single line comment in Ruby, we use the pound signal or the hashtag, which we call. For multi-line comments, we can use the following code: is equal to begin. Sorry, is equal to begin followed by multi-line comment and end with equals to end. Now there are plus, minus, multiply, division, modulo operator, and the power operator in Ruby. Something to the console, there are two types. First is puts and the second is print. Now what puts does is it takes the console, it brings the console to a new line after every argument, after it prints every argument, and print stays on the same line. For example, let us initialize an array 2, 3, and nil. Puts a. You can see nil is not printed, and every value in an array is printed on a new line. But if we print, we'll print nil and also all the elements of the array in the same line. This is the major difference. And everything in Ruby is treated as an object, so every object has some skills associated with it, which is the most striking feature of Ruby. Now let us do some math on strings. Let me initialize a variable. Sorry. For printing the length of a string, we use the length operator. Well, now for reversing string, where dot reverse. Now for uppercase and lowercase. Where dot upcase, where dot downcase. It is not lowercase. Keep that in mind. Now you can do something like this. Okay, leave this for a moment. Now we print this to the console, and if we want users input, How we will get it? First, we will initialize a variable, and we will use gets dot chomp. What? So now what the get function does is gets lets the user input a line and return it as a value to your program. Now this value also includes the new line character. So if we use the chomp on that value, this new line character will be cut off. Now let me show you this with the help of an example. X is equal to gets. Let this be integer. Seven. Now this will also include the new line character hash n. Okay, so this is an integer. I will show you in a string. X is equal to gets 7. Now you can see this also includes hash by a new line character. Now if we will use x is equal to gets dot chomp, and then this will not include the new line character. So this is the difference between gets and gets dot chomp. Now next we will look at the use of loops in Ruby. Let me this. Now first we will look at the use of if else and else if. Ruby. Now if you look closely, in C we use else if this. In Python we use elif, but in Ruby we use ELS if, else if. This is the only major difference according to me. Let's test is same. Now let us take a number first. Print, enter the number x is equal to integer chomp. If x is greater than 7, puts number is greater than 7, else if greater than equal to 7. But remember to type end at the end so that the Ruby interpreter knows this that the loop is over from this line. So always remember to write end at the end of the loop. So this shall work. Let me write one thing also. Now this has no meaning. This is only because so that the interpreter remains alive. Because if I will not use this, it will shut down in a second and it will not remain in the console. This has no meaning. Let's run this. Number equal to 7. This works. Now let me show you the use of unless. In Ruby. Now print a number x is greater than, if x is greater than 7. Let me first declare a variable which is equal to false. Let me remove this. This is also not required. This is also not required. This is also not required. Put number is greater than 7 unless, yeah. So what does what this means is it will print this statement if this var is, it will not print this statement if this variable is true, but in our case it is false, so it will now print this statement, and then I will set it to true, and then also we will run it. Enter the number 7, number is greater than 7. It is not but number is, let's just print number. Enter the number 7 number, because we have set it to false. Now if I set it to true, now this statement will not be executed and nil will be printed on the console. Now let's run this. Enter the number 7. Nothing is printed. Okay. Now let's make a mini project type of thing. A Ruby program that replaces a letter in a word with another letter. First we will use print enter the number. Enter the number. Now we will get the input from the user. X is equal to gets.jump, then x dot downcase to convert the enter the number enter the word x dot downcase, so that the word complete word is converted to word case character. Now what this exclamation mark does is it's this is equivalent to this, x is equal to x dot downcase. Now instead of writing this whole thing x is equal to x dot downcase, what I have done is I have used this exclamation mark, and this exclamation mark saves execution to the variable. So x dot downcase will be saved to x. This is what this exclamation mark does. Now what we should do now, if x dot include dot include followed by question mark, should be the letter. Let the letter be z. Okay. X dot gsub z followed by s. Don't forget to put end. Last is, now we want to first string is hash followed by curly braces x. Now this is equivalent to this. String is x. If you want to what I should say, if you want to display the result inside the string, inside the quotation, we can use this pound signal or the hash followed by curly braces or this, whatever you like. Now what we have done here is, first we have taken the input from the user. We have converted the input into a lowercase, and then what we have used the loop. We have iterated through the loop and checked if the word entered by the user include the letter Z. If the word has a letter Z in it, then we will substitute the letter Z to letter S. Else, we will print nothing to do here if there is no letter Z in the word. And in the last line, we have printed the statement as a whole. Now, what this gsub stands for? This gsub stands for global substitution. I have also included this exclamation mark so that x.gsub is stored in X. Now we will run this. Oh, y is equal to x not found, just so that the interpreter is not found. Enter the word suck, it will print suck. The string is suck. So now the word is changed. Now what else? What else? What else? Now next we will use for loop. Using for loop in Ruby. Now you can. There is no need to initialize the variable before using the for loop. You can initialize the variable in the for loop itself. So for var in followed by 3 dots quotes followed by end, so that the interpreter knows the loop is over. Now what this does, if you use 3 dots, then the upper range of the for loop is not included while printing the loop. So this will only include 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, but will not include 10. Now first run this. We'll run this. Oh, I forgot to. One से लेके 9. Oh, from 1 to 9 numbers are printed. Now what if we want to include the upper range as well? Just remove 1 dot from it, include 2 dots, then 10 will also be included. We will run this. What happened? See, using for wiring. Look at 10 as equal to 0. Okay. I have not printed anything. Quotes were today's. Now 10 is also included. Now what we have used, print instead of quotes. It would include all the numbers without any space in the single line. Oh, see, you can see this. Now for loop. Now next I will show you using loop in Ruby. Loop is another type of looping type in Ruby. Now to use loop, first I will show you the syntax. Syntax loop followed by curly braces. This marks the beginning of the loop. This marks the ending of the loop. This is the first type. You can also use this loop do something followed by end. These are the two ways in which you can use this loop. Now we will first declare a variable to 0. Loop do I plus is equal to 1. Now let me tell you one thing that in C, or in Python, we use this I plus plus, I minus minus, short and increment and short and decrement. This is not valid in Ruby, but this is valid. I plus is equal to 1, I minus is equal to 1, I multiplication is equal to 1. This is valid, but I plus plus, I minus minus or something, this is not valid, but shorthand notation is valid in this. Incrementation and decrementation is not valid. Now I plus is equal to 1, I will just print, I will use still a print break if I is greater than equal to 5. If oops, I break if then I don't forget to write end. Is equal to it's not job. Again, I'm telling you this is not anything. This has no value. There's no meaning. One, two, three, four, five is printed. This can also be written as removing do curly brace. This marks the ending or beginning of the loop. Will not use this end. We'll use this curly brace instead. This will also work the same as the former. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can use loop like this. Now the next thing you would learn is the next keyword in Ruby. Next keyword in Ruby. Now, how I shall explain this? Now, for example, if we don't want to print out something in a loop, the next keyword is used. Let me show you an example. For I in 1 to 5. So this will include 5 as well. If we would have used this would have not included 5, but this will include 5. So for I in 1 to 5, next, if I modulo 0, where is the modulo? I modulo 0, modulo 2 equals to 0, else print I, and don't forget to end this. Now what it will do is, it will not execute the statement print I if I is divisible by 2. So 2 and 4 will not be printed. 1, 3 and 5 will be printed in this. Let's run this. 1, 3 and 5. I must have used print. We use quotes. And let's now save this. 1, 3 and 5. So the next keyword can be used to skip over certain steps in the loop. Now I will show you how to initialize an array. In Ruby, there is nothing new. Just start with a small letter. Now an array in Ruby is similar to a list in Python, and how should I say? An array in Ruby is defined as same as how a list is defined in Python, and in C, this is not used. No? Curly braces are used. See what we use for this. Huh. And in C, we use curly braces like this. These are similar to dictionaries in Python, and these tuples, these are tuples in Python. So many get confused with this, so I want to share this with you. This has no meaning. Now, let me print this. Oops. My underscore array is equal to save this. Run this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is how you can initialize an array. So next thing we will learn how to use dot each iterator in Ruby. What this does, it iterates through the array, does the indexing. One. What this does, it can apply an expression to each element of an object. This is the right definition, one at a time. So let me show you how it does. My array is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My underscore each, right, will go for 0, 1, 2, 3. The index 0 has 1, the index 2 has 1. Oh, index 1 has a value 2, index 2 has a value 3, index 3 has a value 4, index 4 has a value 5. They're indexing from 0 to and -1. Same as in C, C++, Python. So my underscore array dot each do this. What this does is now x plus is equal to 10. We will print output x. Don't forget to no. Should I end this? Underscore array. It is also a loop iterator. So should end this. What it does, it index every element in an array, and I have assigned the variable x for every indexing. Now every element in an array is incremented by 10, and then it is printed. Now let's see if this works or not. Answer should be 11, 21, 30, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It is working fine. Now this is similar to something like this. If you don't want to use this do and end, like I told you before, you can use these curly braces to mark the beginning and end of the loop. Each always remember to define the variable in the mod. This is something like mod x, so mod, and inside you can declare any variable you like, something like this sort of. Int 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is again same. Now Let me show you the times operator. It does. Now the times method is a super compact for loop. Is a type of a super compact for loop. It can perform a task on each item in an object a specified number of times. Now what I mean to say is that let's remove all of this times. Now we want to print something like this. Codes. This is a Ruby tutorial. And dot times in parenthesis this. Now this will print this is a Ruby tutorial 10 times. So this is a sort of like a super compact for loop. Now in for loop what we would have done is we have initialized a variable and for I in 1 to 10, no, for I in for I in 1 to 10 print this is a Ruby tutorial, and then we would have closed it. So this is a for type of a super compact for loop. So this will print this is a Ruby tutorial 10 times. So it just reduces your work to an extent. Now what I have done. Okay. So right for this. Now what happened? Okay, this will include. This is also an iterator. So it will also include curly brace. This I have done wrong. Don't include parentheses. It will not work. This is the Ruby tutorial. It's printed 10 times. Now I could have also done this, something like this, like I have told you before. 10 of times. This will mark the beginning of the loop. This will mark the end of the loop. This shall also work the same. This is the same. Now what if we want to split the text? If user enters a string and if we want to split the string into words, what we can do is something like this: print enter the text. We will save it to y is equal to text.chomp into y dot split, and the delimiter we will not write anything.